Welcome to week 3 of semester 2. And it's a work week. We are working in production, and that means a little bit different things to different classes. So let's explain. So in the film classes, you're going to be doing stand-up meetings every day, setting goals each day of what you can accomplish. Make sure you're using the Trello board to move tasks from the doing to done column, and that you're doing your burn down charts every day. And you need to have your name on specific tasks. That's new this month, this session, because I want to have more individual accountability. Most teams did not have enough tasks put in there. Now, when I say that, I'm fine. It's just that if you're finding that something takes more than a few minutes, it should be its own task. I'm sorry, let me say it differently. A task should be broken down into a few minutes, 3 to 5, let's say. If your project doesn't have 100 to 200 tasks, it's probably not broken down enough. Now, nobody got to that level. That's fine. But what we're doing is each session we go through the development cycle, we're becoming more precise. We're starting to break things down more, give more individual accountability to people so that they know the lane they're supposed to be in so they can drive fast and get stuff done. We are maturing in this, and I'm very proud of everybody. The work is happening. So I'm just explaining that continuum, that each session we get more specific. And the information in here is not new. It's just saying that you're going to be working. And what I'm doing is looking at the Trello boards to see that things are being moved from the backlog to doing to done. And I'm looking for individuals doing that activity. And again, because I'm in the Trello board for each team, I can see who's active and who's not. Furthermore, I can see during class time who's active and who's not. So you're on task this week, contributing to your team, moving stuff in the Trello board. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Cell phones need to be put away. Always ask me if you can use it. Do that first so we don't have a situation. My whole idea on cell phones is like anything that is distracting, it is a problem. And so we want to minimize distractions so we can stay focused on the task at hand. That is the most important thing. Again, if you need to use your cell phone for something in class, talk to me first. I almost always say yes. So it's just getting that culture reinforced. Now, if I look at game design, you'll notice that the only thing it really switched is the icon in the top corner. Everything else is the exact same wording because you're also working in teams, and there's a few students that are working individually, but you're also grouped into a team even though you're working on individual projects. Let's move over to School of Rock. It's a little bit different there. We have not talked about stand-up meetings and burn down charts, but you are working on 3 projects. And where you're sitting in the room means you're part of team 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6. Okay? And that team is for the Leducian, that's me, process, like setting goals each day, working on material. Like, what are you going to work on each day? Are you going to practice a little bit on the guitar part you're trying to learn? Are you going to work on the microphone project, which is going to be ready by next week for you to work on? Or are you working on the composition, either the DAW project, the digital audio workstation project, or are you working on the triad and composing lots of triads with online sequencer? So what are you doing in your day? So each day I want you to come in and think about how you're budgeting your time. And if you scroll down the page here, you're going to notice that it has more information for you. And these are the 3 goals you're working toward. These are the 3 projects. And so just reminding you of that what is your task load for the day? What's your primary task, your secondary task? Those terms, primary and secondary, really are your first thing you're going to do is, and then the second thing you're going to do is, that's how it kind of works. So this form is something we use to help people stay on task. And so I'm going to zoom in here so you can see this a little bit. But it's essentially each day, are you here? Are you on task? Are you communicating? Are you working? And you get 4 points a day. There's 5 days in a week. So on average, it's 20 points. And then over here, you go over to the right 20 and go up 20. And that would be a 4 in the gradebook. Anything less than that. Now, we only have 3 days this week. So if you look at this, you go, okay, a maximum of 12. So we go in here and say, okay, if I go up 12 and over 12 right here, whoop, so that's a 4. Wait, right there's a 4. Okay. If you didn't have all the points, you can see how the points go down. So it's just a matrix to kind of show you on how do we quantify being on task. And we basically said you have to be here, or if you're home, you can communicate. via email or something. Communicate with your team and see what you can do remotely, because we use a lot of online resources and there's other materials you could do. So stay in communication with your team if you're offsite. But again, are you on task? And this to me is bell to bell. If I see you on your phone, ooh, no points. It's like one strike, you're out kind of thing. Because you want to foster a situation where if we tolerate some distraction and people just not really doing stuff, it's viral. It gets people off task, and all of a sudden the classroom activity really breaks down. So I need you to stay focused. And it's not that long of a class period. So by the time we get in, do our stand-up meeting and do our materials, start working on things, we don't have much time. And so we want to focus and get things done. And are you on task? Are you communicating and working with your team? That's super crucial. When I see people sitting around and their team is gone doing something, I'm like, what are you doing? And they don't know what the team is up to. That's what we're trying to minimize. If you're working on something specific by yourself for the team, that's fine. But if I check in with you, it's just going to be to see what you're doing. How does it relate to the team? How is it working? Does the team know you're doing that? These are things we're getting better at each session. All right. Well, that's it, except for one other thing I want to show you is, as always, we're doing our projects where you make your blog post. And depending, School of Rock, you're doing 3 different blog posts for the 3 different projects, but we dump our stuff into our blog posts as a culmination of the work we've done to show all the phases of production. And just a reminder that always check at the top of the blog post for instructions and read the comments in the gradebook. The comments in the gradebook are more precise. I spent last week putting a lot of information in the gradebook because I want to make sure you know what to do. And so when you read the comments, it should instruct you what to do. And the instructions usually follow something like this. Look at the red spot in the project tracking sheet and correct that or add to it. Look at your blog and read through the directions there and update the material. These are the types of comments I'm putting in the gradebook because I want you to know what to do. The other thing that's new this session is this sheet right here is in your team folder, and look at it for comments. So I wrote on it for the pre-production section. If you did not get full credit, many people did not because you were missing something. Your SMART goal wasn't written right, or you didn't have notes for either the training or a leader in the field, or you didn't have your timeline. If you want to make corrections, no problem. Look at the document, look what I wrote, make the corrections, and hand this document back to me. That is crucial. Without this, I will not look at it again because I'm not going to reread the whole thing. I want to know what specifically I need to look at to correct or to see if it's correct. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Thanks for watching.